Gossip Club. I don't know whether I should name the participants or not, actually. But listen very carefully in case you need to contact Mark Johnson after you hear this play. And thank you to Sarah Dreyer. She's been the piper for the dancers.
Well, I hope we don't have to wait much longer. Well, who are we waiting for anyway? Millie, as usual. Well, if it's her we're waiting for, we might just well relax. Never saw that woman on time yet. I don't know why she can't remember, but she can find the best excuses of anybody I ever saw. You know, they said she was even late for her own wedding. She kept the minister and the groom waiting a whole half hour. And her excuse was she couldn't find her shoes. Doesn't surprise me a bit. I never saw the like of her. She can pick up an excuse in 5 minutes. And I know this much. I got to sit here. I'm going home. I can sit home just as comfortable as I can sit here. And I'm not going to bother waiting for her. I got a roast in the oven, and I've got to go home and look after it. I got to get supper. Well, be here pretty soon. Oh, that's all. I bet you didn't. Good evening, ladies. How are you? I'm awfully surprised to see you, but I'm glad you came.
Well, I didn't have another thing to do, Miss.
Take out your coat.
And I decided that where I was just sitting home doing nothing, that I heard you were having a meeting, and I thought I'd better attend because I didn't want to miss out on anything.
Well, no, of course not. You know that I kind of thought that maybe we should start an anti-gossip club.
You don't mean to tell me that you ladies out here do gossip?
No, not me. You know how people will say something and then it gets repeated and then somebody else tells it and it gets repeated and first thing some little harmless remark has grown all in proportion and it's not harmless anymore.
Well, I'll tell you, you should hear some of the stories that I hear up there at the restaurant. They're sitting around the counter there telling the awful stories you ever heard. And those women from the colony, they're the worst of it.
Oh, no.
They come up there and they eat the big gorges, the French fries and gravy and pie and ice cream. Then they come home and they try to tell their husbands that they're on an 800 diet. How do you expect them to lose weight that way?
That's Millie. Oh, I bet you this Come on in. Take your coat off and sit right down.
Well, I'd have been here sooner, Mavis, but I didn't know about the meeting till the last second. I happened to be talking to Ethel, and she said she was talking to Olga. Olga's been talking to Skit, and Skit told her that Paula told her. And she forgot to tell me.
No, we just kind of at the little spot here. And anyway, we thought we would just meet here tonight. And I kind of got a few things jotted down that I think we should have for this club. And anyway, I'm going to give each one of you an agenda. And now here's one for you, and one for you, and then we'll have a...
I suppose you didn't have another thing to do, Mavis, besides have this meeting.
No, not a thing. And Millie, I don't think, what did you have to do?
Not a thing. Ethel and I planned to have a card party. We called all around, not a soul would come. Called Girl and Mavis, and you lads were away. I guess New Denmark, you're on the road someplace. Called Frida and Mary. Now away playing bingo as usual. Called Doc, and I really don't know what the truth of the matter was there, but she just made excuses. She didn't come.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Doc said she wasn't coming anyway. Said that she was up and had lunch the other day, and she said, peacocks don't roost with crows.
My soul. Well, I don't know, but it kind of sounds to me, of course that Doc thinks she is somebody. She said she went to that. And she
couple, you'll be all right. I just happened to mention that.
Well, good gracious, I called this meeting to kind of create goodwill and to stop some of this gossip. And you know, I do hope that Isabel can come because I think she should join a club like this. She needs to.
You would expect her to come. She's so busy working at that school, taking courses and courses to learn more and more about less and less. Next thing we know, she'll know everything about nothing, just like the rest of us.
Wait, I think I hear something. Her now. Oh, hello, Isabel. I'm glad you came. We were kind of hoping you'd come. You may as well take your coat off and stay a while. Okay, that'd be good. We're starting a little club, and as everyone, you know, I was giving everyone an agenda as they came.
Your time you got here. I'm sick and tired waiting for people.
Well, I would have been here sooner, but I had to stop at the store, and there were quite a few people in around there, and I just sort of listened to see if there was any news.
None of your excuses. You're so used to picking up excuses. For Winston, you got them all off by heart. I'm tired of six waiting. You got to get on with this meeting. That's the most important thing that I know.
Well, now that you are here, I'm going to tell you why I have organized this meeting. Now, it seems as though Kincardine is getting quite noted for gossip. Now, Darlene McDougal was up and had lunch the other day at 40 Acres. And she wasn't listening to what the other people were saying, but all at once she heard Kincardine, so she pricked her ears right up. And she heard them saying that Kincardine is getting to be an awful place for gossip. In fact, it was known as the gossip capital of New Brunswick. And so she was pretty worked up about it. She came right home and she called Geraldine. And Geraldine called me right up to see what we were going to do about this. So I just thought that we would have a meeting and kind of organize a meeting, you know, like a gossip club, you know, like kind of
Organize the gossip? I thought that came natural.
Oh, wait, I thought really to gossip.
Well, but who will be the president? Will Millie do that, or would you want to do that?
Oh, hell, I can handle that. Around here, I pretty well run this community, so I guess I can do that too. No problem. Now, I want you all to understand though why we have called this meeting. I've called this to kind of have this meeting as a substitute for gossip. Does everyone agree that we should have one of these clubs?
That'd be a good idea.
They all right, too. But I can't imagine why you didn't invite those ladies from Gilman. There is Ruth, there is Edna, there is Nan Grant, there is Gertrude Lloyd, and there's Teresa Inman. And those gals from up here in the Man's Hill, they should have been invited. They're probably the worst three gossips there is, that Shelley Inman and Darlene and Kay. And another couple is that Lisa Smiskey and Lana. They're home now, and they probably should join too.
You could never know the gossip.
Not me.
You wouldn't have time.
No.
Well, it wouldn't do us a bit of harm. If it doesn't do any good, we should try it anyway. We need something. Oh, my goodness. We better get on with the meeting. And never mind all this gossiping. My roast will be all burned up in the oven.
Oh, Ruby, you can cut the burn parts off. My ears have been known to burn a good many times, and there wasn't anything I could do about that.
Well, now, you know, we're going to need a secretary and a treasurer for our club, too. I've got that written down. I've jotted things as I went along.
I would move that Millie be the secretary, and Ruby the treasurer. She's pretty tight with the purse strings. She wouldn't like to.
I think that's all right.
And I'll be the scapegoat, and I'll second that motion.
Well,
I think
called for. There's nothing else to do but run the roads around here. There's nothing else to do. And by the way, why didn't you invite some men to this meeting tonight?
Oh, Millie, will you please forget about the men? That's all you ever think about. Why don't you bring one back to Newfoundland with you if you want a man?
Just like around here, they're scarce as hen's teeth, but that's and I think they should have been invited.
That's a fact. Say the men gossip just the same as the women. Look, they all gather in there once in a while, you know, in Richard in the store, kill that maniac. What he doesn't know, he tells them everything he knows to something he doesn't. The rest of the men, they tell too. I never, it's just scandalous something. And that's how the gossip goes. Just goes on and on and on.
And the stories they tell. Well, how do you know anyway, Isabel? You say you're so busy all the time, you haven't time for anything else.
I told you I stopped at the store tonight, and your husband was in there. And
Yes.
Bob France exchanging a few stories. Bob France goes to all these meetings, thinks he knows everything that's going on and everybody. There were 4 that he saw in there the other day that he didn't know. He had so much makeup on, but I knew who they were. That Donna and Susan and Shelley and Celia painted up like a bunch of floozies. Heading for somewhere. I think if I were their men, I'd be looking into it.
So they were probably going to the Overlook.
Those men were just in the store made after groceries. I know very well.
Of course, I just sent Earl in to get a couple of loaves of bread, that was all.
Well, evidently they didn't have enough of you yet, because I saw him heading for back. Probably down the pool room. I've seen him down there before.
Lots of cars looks like ours.
This is more like a gossip club than an anti-gossip club.
Well, you don't think so.
Look, you be quiet. Anybody would think that she never gossiped in her lifetime, would you, Betty?
Now look, that's enough. I am in this chair, and you might pay attention to what I've got to say. Now, I'm just going to read you this pledge that I've drawn up. You can all follow it there in your papers. I've got it written right down there. And if there's any omissions, anything you think we should omit, or anything we should add, just let me know. Now, this is the pledge. I hereby promise to abstain from taking part in or listening to any unkind talk about my neighbor's affairs. Now that is short and it's to the point, and it covers the reason why I called this meeting. Now, do you all think that's satisfactory?
Suits me, all right.
Well, all right then, we will go on. Now, it's kind of a waste of time for us. Don't you all agree? Well, I think it is. And you know, you never know how stories can get started. You know, it was time for all the report cards to come home. So the Hargrove kids brought the report cards home. Well, Andy took one look at Leah's and Melinda's, and he was very pleased with them. And then he asked for Bart. Well, Bart just happened to find one of his father's old report cards the other day, so he handed that to Andy. Well, Andy looked at that, and he just took one look at those marks, and you should have heard the roars. Why, Rayanne heard them clear under her house, and the doors and windows closed at that. He wasn't very pleased with those marks. And then he happened to look down, he saw his own name. Well, after he looked at Bart's report card, Bart's marks looked pretty good after that.
I guess Bart's a chip off the old block, all right.
That's why the story got started that Andy was going to school. I could not understand how Andy Hargrove was going back to school.
That's the way it's been going. But I think now it's time we all sign this pledge. And then, before the next meeting, we'll find something more worthwhile to talk about than our neighbors.
anything more worthwhile than our neighbors and their business.
Well, I know our neighbors are important, but we don't have to gossip about them. And I think we should find something, more educational. Maybe we could find a few good romance books or something like that. Or, that Bob LaFrance, he writes things. And maybe we could get him to write a paper, something like the Enquirer, or something like that. Far more educational than gossip